next segment. It's my NFL predictions. I catch a lot of flack for certain things every year, but my record at picking games last year was pretty good. It was pretty good. So that being said, I'm going to run by my predictions real quick. 49er fans, beware! You're getting ready to be upset at me. Sorry. The NFC, the West, how the West was won. Seattle, that's how it was won. Seattle will be tied for the best record in the NFL at the end of the season, 13-3. So,
wow.
Yeah, that's the way I feel. All right, so they are the winners of the West in the NFC. The East, I'm going to show you something real quick, just real quick. See that? I'm a Redskins fan, so this pains me to say this, especially because the guy on the other end of this video is a Dallas Cowboys fan. The Dallas Cowboys will win the East this year, 11-5. Cowboy fans, be happy. Romo's going to pan out this year for you. I think he's a great quarterback anyways, but he's gotten a lot of hate. I think this is his year. So the East is won by the Cowboys. The North, no surprise here, the Packers. They're going to win it again. Chicago's really their only competition out there, I think. And the Packers are still going to be good. It doesn't matter. To me, there's not even competition for that. Packers will be the division winners. The South is where things shake up a little bit between Atlanta and the Saints. I think the Saints will pull it out. The return of Sean Payton. So I think you're going to see the Saints from 2 years ago, not last year. So I think the Saints win that division at a healthy 10-6. Now, wild cards for this division, or for the NFC. This is where Niner fans are going to get pissed at me. Last year I picked the Niners, I think, at like 9-7 or 10-6.
I think you said. I think you wanted. Yeah, I think it was 9 or 10 wins, and that's pretty close to where they ended up.
I think they ended up I want to say 11-5.
Well, it wasn't 5 because they had a tie, right? 11.
Yeah, that's right.
1 or something.
Yeah, they tied with St. Louis last year. So I think the Niners this year come in at 10-6. And you better hope, and pray that what happened to RG3 last year doesn't happen to Kaepernick this year. Because if it does, that record to me drops down to 8-8, depending on when he gets hurt in the season. If it's at the beginning of the season, I could see 7-9. Let's just hope that doesn't happen for you. So it happened to me last year as a Skins fan. Luckily, RG3 didn't start getting hurt till the last half of the season. So I have all tied up at 10-6. The 49ers, the Atlanta Falcons, and the Washington Redskins. All three of them are going to go 10-6 this year. So they're going to be duking it out for those 2 wild card spots. The Niners play Washington this year, so that's going to be a huge factor. And that's going to be a game that's going to be a game to watch. They both run the pistol. They both have running quarterbacks. In my opinion, I think RG3 is a better pocket passer and a better passer than Kaepernick is, but who knows? Maybe the Cinderella story will continue for Kaepernick. So that's my NFC. The worst records in the NFC. It's pretty simple. Minnesota and the Panthers will both be 4-12 this year.
Wow.
4-12.
That's crazy. 4-12.
Cam Newton can only get you so far. Where's the rest of your team? So, and then the Giants I put down at 5-11 and St. Louis at 5-11.
Yeah, I could see this. I think St. Louis is better than 5-11, but it's.
I agree. I think the Giants are better than 5-11, but I just think that you're going to see a rise of Philly there. I don't think Philly's going to be the number 2. I think Philly will be the number 3. But I think Philly's going to finish 8-8, 9-7, right around there somewhere. So,
and be better than they've been in the last, because they've been pretty terrible the last 2 seasons.
So I fully I think there's a very good chance that the Giants lose all 6 of their division games next year. There's a very good chance of that happening. So that's my NFC. AFC in the West. You'd be crazy not to pick Denver. I mean, the rest of the division is garbage. So,
Yeah, I mean, you got Kansas City, who's pretty solid.
I agree, but they're in building mode. I think they're better off in the building mode than the Raiders are right now, but they're also in building mode. And
Hold on, let me ask this question about the Raiders. When we say building, like how long they've been building?
a long time, and they've been doing a lot of building backwards.
Hey, but you know what though? There's one positive for this season. Once they give Jamarcus Russell his $3 million, now they can stop paying him.
That's very true. It's very true. Very true. So Denver 13-3. They're going to tie for the best league in the NFL with the Seattle Seahawks at 13-3. Denver has by far the easiest passing schedule all season long. I think they maybe have like 1 or 2 matchups all season that may actually put up a fight against them in the air. But other than that, they're just going to pass all over everybody. I mean, Peyton Manning's going to pick apart defenses just like he always does, and their matchups are going to reflect it because if you look at their schedule, it's incredibly easy in the passing area. So Denver will be 13-3 this season. Oakland will finish last in that division at 3-13. And the only reason why I gave you that extra win, because originally I had you at 2-14, is because Terrell Pryor is going to be your starter. He'll get you that 1 extra win.
He can run for his life. Yeah.
That's about the best he can is run. He's run. I mean, he's not accurate. He can run. So, all right. The East, no surprise here. The second easiest division in all of football. The Patriots are going to win that one. They'll end up at 12-4. So, I mean, the rest of that division's horrible too. I mean, not as bad as the AFC West, but nonetheless, the Patriots 12-4. The Jets last at 2-14. Yes, 2-14, the worst record in the NFL. Mark Sanchez, garbage. Then you got injury issues across the board. The rest of it, your defense is horrible. You got the worst coach in the NFL, in Rex Ryan. I'm sorry, the team's garbage.
And you know what the thing is that sucks on top of all of that is as many rookie quarterbacks have been taken, you know what I mean, lately and have panned out has been like phenomenal. You know what I mean? Remarkable. But then it seems like they've been able to pick 2 in a row. That just seems to be terrible because Geno Smith, they're like, oh, you're going to let him start. All right, cool. 3 interceptions later. Oh, let's throw Mark Sanchez in at the end of the game, what was the point in that? And then he gets injured.
Probably the worst football decision in ever.
Raider fans, with the first pick in the 2007 NFL Draft, the Oakland Raiders select quarterback Jamarcus Russell, LSU.
Let's put our last year starting quarterback and the guy that's probably going to start for us again this year, even though he sucks, behind our second string O-line.
I don't know, because at the fourth quarter, is that even second string? I mean,
anyway. Second string, third string, whatever. It wasn't your first team. That's all I'm saying. It's horrible. Either way, so Jets 2-14, you have no faith. Rex Ryan, your job's gone after this year, period. Someone new will be coaching your team at the end of the season.
Boom.
Well, at the beginning of next season, I'm sorry. The North. I got me some Cleveland love. I've already said this, but Cleveland won't win the division. Cincinnati will win the division this year at 11-5.
All right, hold on. Let's take a timeout right here.
All right.
What is your record for the Cleveland Browns?
Cleveland Browns this year 9-7.
Now, see, when you first mentioned this to me, I laughed for a long time. But I've been kind of thinking, mulling over, what's going on, see who's on the team. And maybe you're right, and maybe there's something to this Cleveland team actually being much better than they've been in the past. So
I'm pulling you in slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. So Cleveland 9-7. I think they're a solid team this year. Great defense, just like last year. And then they got young talent on offense, and that team no problems this year, no problems whatsoever. Baltimore, your last year Super Bowl champs, your reigning Super Bowl champs, 7-9.
I get okay. I
Sorry.
can definitely feel that. Yeah.
Sorry. So you're gonna finish last in your division this year. I'm sorry. You're a Baltimore fan.
Then what was the Steelers' record?
The Steelers 8-8.
Oh, so very very close, very on top of each other.
Oh, yeah.
I can see that.
The South, AFC South, no surprise here. Although I think one more year, and this matchup gets a lot closer between the Texans and the Colts. In one more year, one more season, I think this matchup is a difficult choice to make. But right now, I'm going to put the Texans at 12-4, winning their division again. The Colts at 10-6, and taking the wild card spot, and the lowly Jacksonville Jaguars at 3-13.
Well, I think before the Colts can really challenge the Texans is it's not about the offense. It's
About the
really
defense.
about their
About the
defense.
Because we all know what Houston's defense is like, Mr. J.J. Watt. So, I mean, that they have a strong defense, strong offense. Until the Colts can match them in the defensive standpoint, and the Texans will be better. But I think you're going to see big things out of the Colts, and I think they're 10-6. I think your wild card spots in the AFC is Cleveland and the Colts. The Cleveland Browns wrap up a wild card spot this year. Yeah, and the Colts 10-6. You're shaking your
Not
head.
the Browns. No.
Don't agree?
No.
Not on that train yet, huh?
I'm not on them going to the playoffs.
All right.
Ah,
All right.
maybe.
We'll see. I just don't see who else you could pick. But we'll see. So that being said, your wild card or your AFC championship game will be the Texans versus Denver. And Denver will win that game, and Denver will go to the Super Bowl.
And that game will be in Denver?
Oh, yeah. And Denver will go to the Super Bowl. And Denver will win the Super Bowl. I hate saying that because my brother-in-law is a Broncos fan, and I can't stand saying that, but it'll happen. In the NFC, your NFC championship match, and I'm going to hate saying this too because I'm a Redskins fan, but your NFC championship game will be Seattle versus Dallas in Seattle, which Seattle will win, and Seattle.
I was about to say that doesn't sound good in Seattle.
And Seattle.
So hold on. Let me ask this question. All right, so Dallas goes to Seattle. Obviously, they have at least one or two playoff wins at this point. They lose in Seattle in a relatively close game. Will everyone at that point get off of Tony Romo's back?
No, but they should.
Man, that's terrible.
It's plain and simple. No, but they should. And I'm a Redskins fan. I should hate Tony Romo. I should hate Tony Romo more than Dallas fans do. But I don't. That's sad. So,
So you say Seattle, Denver, Super Bowl.
Denver wins.
Wow.
I want to say Seattle, but Denver wins. So.
I'm just I don't know. I'm curious as to that one because and the only reason is because you typically the way to beat Denver, or actually let's not even say Denver, the way to beat Peyton Manning is to have a good running game and a good defense. And obviously, the Ravens have proven that they can defeat Peyton Manning. It's not necessarily the Colts or the Denver, but they can defeat a Peyton Manning-led offense with this formula. And I just see like if they were matched up, I don't know. I think that because they have Russell Wilson, who if they fall behind, they can score points, they can manufacture points. It's not like these old Baltimore teams where if they fall behind, it's just a wrap. But they can manufacture points that way through the air if they had to. I just think that there's no way Seattle would lose that matchup because of the fact that they're like 3 running backs deep at this point, you know what I mean, who are all good.
I agree. I do. I want to pick Seattle in that matchup. Denver versus Seattle in the Super Bowl, I want to pick Seattle really, 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 really badly because I think Seattle is one of the best teams in the NFL this year, period. But I just got a feeling, I don't know what it is, just a gut feeling that you're going to have a Cinderella story Denver Broncos this year. Got Peyton Manning last year after his horrible injury that he had. Led them to a great team this year. Going to lead them to a great team this year again. And they're just going to put it together and go. And I hate to say this, and I don't want to say this, but they're going to win the Super Bowl.
All right, let me ask.
I think you could look – the sort of feeling I have about that is I think you could put Denver Broncos this year against some of the greatest team in the NFL's history, and the Broncos would still win. I just got that feeling.
No. But okay. All right, so let's just go hypothetical. Denver Broncos win. Peyton Manning retires?
No. I think he should, but no. He loves football too much. He'll play until he can't play anymore. He's going to be like the Brett Favre. He's going to be like,
get out of here. Terrible.
He's going to be like, get out of here. Go away. Football doesn't need you anymore. But he's going to keep on kicking. I think he's got at least 4 more seasons in him, maybe 2 more teams.
Yeah, he's got cool commercials too. You know what I mean? Like he got real cool commercials. So I got to give him that.
So I think Peyton Manning should go out if he wins the Super Bowl, but I don't think he will. He loves football too much. All right, now real quick, I'm going to throw in this new little prediction. Some of it's kind of obvious, but coaches, end of the year. We always see coaches getting fired. Last year there were a couple that I disagreed with. I think Lovie Smith should still be the coach of the Bears, but whatever. This year, the 2 number 1 coaches that'll get fired, Rex Ryan, your tenure in the Jets are gone. And the Jets are going to have to hit rebuild mode hardcore. Mark Sanchez, your career is done after this year, along with Rex Ryan, just done, gone, bye, later. And Dennis Allen. Unfortunately, the Raiders are like my Redskins used to be. Let's hire a new coach and fire a new coach every year. And Dennis Allen's going to go into a second year. Unfortunately, for the decisions that Reggie McKenzie has made, I think your team is going backwards, not forwards. And those mistakes are going to get blamed on Dennis Allen. And Dennis Allen's going to get fired for it. So those are my 2 coaches that are for sure locks at getting fired this year. They're guaranteed locks. They'll be fired at the end of this year. All-star coaches. Andy Reid landed a new home in Kansas City. Went out and got Alex Smith. That team got a lot better. And Andy Reid's an excellent coach. He coached in the division that my team's in for how long? Like, 11, 12 years, something like that?
Yeah.
A long time. Much respect for Andy Reid. I think he will bring Kansas City to new heights. Mike McCoy for the San Diego Chargers. I'm putting him in there as an all-star just because he's not Norv Turner. I mean, I'm a Norv Turner fan because he used to coach for my team, but Norv Turner is no head coach. He is one of the best offensive coordinators in the game, but he's not a head coach. So I think no matter what, Mike McCoy is going to look like an all-star no matter what, just because he's going to be better than Norv Turner was.
All right, so what was your record for San Diego?
For San Diego, I didn't give you a record for San Diego, but I would put San Diego, 7-9.
Well, I think that would
Maybe
be an
8-8.
improvement.
Maybe 8-8, which I think at 8-8 it could save Philip Rivers' job for the next year after that if they push 8-8. I think anything less than a 500 season, I think Philip Rivers is gone, which is unfortunate because I think Philip Rivers is a good quarterback. He just hasn't had good coaching.
Well, you know what? It's not just that, but look at these personnel decisions that were made. I mean, at one point this team was highly talented. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
Very talented.
and they they went out and got an often injured running back who is now often injured in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to pay Vincent Jackson, so instead of like paying him, they played rigmarole. They lost him for a part of a season because he held out, and then he was injured, and then he came back, and it wasn't quite the same. And then they finally let him go because they didn't want to pay him. Signed Robert Meacham. He sucked. They cut him already. They have Malcolm Floyd, who is a number 2. He's not a number 1. He's a number 2. And you keep forcing him into playing this number 1 slot, this number 1 role, and he's just not going to live up. It's just like a cascade of bad decisions. You know what I mean? Bad decisions. Got this person doesn't pan out. And that's why they're at where they're at now. You know what I mean? And in reality, Philip Rivers, who's he going to throw to? Antonio Gates, at this point in his career, just hasn't been able to stay healthy. And Philip Rivers has Malcolm Floyd, the healthiest Antonio Gates has been in 3 years, which I don't know what that says when you got to say that. This is the healthiest he's been in 3 seasons. All right. Yeah. Well, I hope that means something good, right?
Yeah, I agree. But like I said, it's going to be an improvement over there just because Norv Turner's not there anymore, period. So Mike McCoy will look like an all-star because of it. I have 3 more. And the next one is I'm on the train. I'm on the Browns train. Rob Chudzinski. That team's going to look good this year, and because of it, you're going to look good. And on top of that, what did I just say about San Diego Chargers? Norv Turner, horrible coach. One of the best offensive coordinators. Yeah, he's their offensive coordinator. So
it's true. One of the best offensive coordinators all time.
Yeah, all time. He just can't coach.
He can't be the head
coach. But he is one of the best all-time offensive coordinators, and he is now the offensive coordinators of the Cleveland Browns. So Chudzinski is going to look like a rock star. And Sean Payton from the Saints, he's here. He's not gone this year. So Sean Payton, of course, he's going to be an all-star. The team's going to look like they did when he was there 2 years ago. So
I'm gonna put this prediction out there. Drew Brees breaks his own passing yards record for the season.
Okay, I can see that. I can see it happening. I can see it happening. And my last but not least, in my division, he's going to revive life into that team. Not that I'm saying Andy Reid was a bad coach, because Andy Reid was not a bad coach. I think his welcome there and his tenure there just needed to come to an end, and I think that's why I think Andy Reid's going to be an all-star where he's at now in Kansas City. But Chip Kelly, welcome to the NFL. LaShawn McCoy is going to be a rock star for him. And Chip Kelly's a running head coach anyways. Loves to run the ball. And I think Chip Kelly's going to look like a rock star this year. I think he's going to breathe life into Michael Vick, even though I extremely dislike Michael Vick. LaShawn McCoy is going to be a stud. I think give that team 2 years. I think that team is back into number 1 status team. And then I think the NFC East is going to be the team or the division like it can be, like it should be, to where every single team in that division is fighting it out for that number 1 spot.
Yeah, and I think that this offense is going to let Deshaun Jackson run.
Yeah.
Which is what he's best at anyway.
It's going to be a crazy tenure for him. And I think, like I said, give 2 years. I think Dallas, Washington, the Giants are going to figure it out and do something. And the Philadelphia Eagles are going to be duking it out for the number 1 spot. And then you're going to see, once again, you're going to see 2 teams from that division going to the playoffs every year, just like it has been in the past. So that is my NFL predictions.
That's what's up. We will have this video obviously posted up, and then we will have the written out versions of this posted up on the actual website, and this video will be posted on YouTube. So obviously, I'm assuming that's where you're watching it from right now. But we will have the actual written out versions of the predictions, and then the draft analysis posted on the website. And any feedback, anything positive, negative, please just let us know what you guys think. And we promise the broadcast will not be this long going forward.
Yes,
But
this was
obviously we had a lot to cover.
It was the draft episode, so it was a long one. And sometimes we can be long-winded. So we'll make them shorter. And I promise they will get shorter. And even if you're not in our league, watch anyways.
You know what I mean? We dropping knowledge in black
And white.
Yeah, you saw what I did.
Uh-huh.